Manifold removal. Gonna start with taking off the charge pipe. Gonna start by removing the vacuum lines. Okay, those are off. Next are a couple of hose clamps. There's a plate that goes here. Remove the two vacuum lines that go here and tape them together. One bolt that holds down the plate, and then one more hose clamp back here, and it should pop off. Next, I'm going to be removing two fuel lines and a sensor hooked up down here. That should come off pretty easily. Alright, so removed top line and the bottom fuel line. That's up here. I labeled them and hooked them together. Covered these up with tape. And now we're going to move down and remove the sensor down here. Comes up here and it's hooked up. To disconnect the positioning sensor, that has a clip on it. You want to push down on it instead of using a flat head, and it should push down and slide right out. Next, we're moving on to fuel injectors. They have these metal clips that pop out fairly easy with a flathead. You just got to get them in between and it pops right out if you just pry it towards the block like this, and they come out really easily. And they're your fuel injectors. Disconnecting a couple clips and going to remove the harness from the fuel rail, as well as going to remove the vacuum line that's hooked up to the fuel rail. After removing a couple bolts from the fuel rail, I was able to pry off the left side and finally able to get the whole fuel rail off. So here are the injectors. and it looks like they can use a little bit of cleaning. Now I'm just going to disconnect the vacuum lines that are hooked onto the throttle body, starting with this top one. Once I have that one removed, I moved down and started to unhook the clamp on the pipe hooked to my throttle body, and then I have a sensor off to the side that's going to get disconnected. Finally, moving to the manifold itself, I just started off by breaking all of the bolts loose. After removing the top bolts, I found one more that needs to get removed right down here. So, bottom bolt and all the top bolts are removed. I just went ahead and pulled the manifold off, and I could finally reach the lines to unhook them. So first I'm going to remove this bottom vacuum line. Here's the split in the line. It's really minor, but it was causing a lot of issues. So we're going to get that replaced. Next, here is the second cut in the vacuum line. That's to the left side of my N249 here. And that's causing issues too. So we're going to get that one replaced as well. There's a tiny little cut right there. Coming down here for the PCV lines, get a better look. Here is going to be the 90 right here. And here is also the N249 line. It's a small split. So the line to the PCV came off fairly easy. But now the right side of the N249 needs to be disconnected. Got to start off by taking this plate that's hooked up to the oil dipstick. Underneath is going to be a sensor, and that's going to have two lines on it. And so I'm going to come down here. This is the one that we're going to need for the right side of the N249 here. So we're going to just disconnect that one, and we're going to leave the rest of it hooked up. This one comes up over here, and so we're just going to leave that alone. Got our lines disconnected. Here's on the left side of the N249 with a split, and we got them all labeled up. We also have a fuel push regulator line here that's going to get replaced. Our PCV is going to get replaced. And finally, we have our throttle bottle here we're going to clean up, and we have our manifold. So finally got this thing off. It's definitely going to need a cleaning, but we're going to do that later. With the manifold off, we can finally see what was causing the major problem, which was this PCV. It's really old and it has a bunch of tears in it. So next we're going to be removing this and really going to look at it, but that's going to be for the next video. Thank you.